Welcome to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, a.k.a. Wrecking Yard Will. And as always, I have my co-host, owner of Sandlot Radio Show, former professional player in Australia, former owner of the Sydney Wave, player manager, started Futura Sports Card Company, still going on. He was a minor league player, major league scout, coming from down under, sidearm representer, Mr. Tab Powers.
Thank you.
And today we have a very special guest, number one pick in the 2022 Major League Draft, currently the number one prospect in Major League Baseball. He was also minor league hitting prospect of the year, hitting 323 and putting up some incredible numbers in the Baltimore Orioles organization, Mr. Jackson Holliday. Jackson, thanks for being a guest on Sandlot and the Crew.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tad, I'm going to kick it over to you, let you go ahead and do your thing.
All right. So, Jackson, this organization that you're in right now, Baltimore Orioles, I was in it. They weren't as good. There's been a lot of changes since then. They've been way better at the draft, and they've come up with some of the best young talent in the game today. And now, not only did they come up with it, bring them through the minor leagues together, but now these young players are making an impact in the big leagues. You're the next one in line. Number one overall pick. Rookie ball, A ball, double A, triple A, all in a season. Let's talk about that road because that's not an easy road. Rookie ball has its challenges because guys throw hard, but they don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I think in rookie ball and in low A, I think just being able to control the zone and take your walks and really look for your pitch to hit definitely helped me. Yeah, it's definitely different from each level. Command is probably one of the biggest differences when you talk about pitching. And in AAA, they literally threw it wherever they wanted. And then in low A, you were probably going to get walked if you didn't swing. So it's definitely different. Just being able to control the zone and really pick my pitches to go on was definitely something that I had to work on as I got higher up in the levels. It's just a little bit different at each level. So pretty crazy to jump 4 levels and move 4 apartments and have 2 or 3 different roommates. It's a lot of fun to be able to do that, to be in 4 different clubhouses and get to play with tons of guys. It was quite an experience.
Yeah, and you got the coaches, you got hitting coach, pitching coach, you got a trainer. Nowadays, probably nutritionalists in a lot of these clubhouses, and you're meeting all these different people. And then the fans in these little towns, because the Orioles are spread out in some crazy spots. So you got to see some really cool stuff. And again, the impact that one player can make on a franchise, a local rookie ball, A ball, double A franchise, when a guy like you comes through town, there's some hype. And all of a sudden, more people are coming to the park. It's good for the ownership of that club. It's good for the town. So I want to thank you for helping make an impact on those little places. Let's talk about the steps in each little city, the town, and what it meant.
Yeah, it was really cool. I know in low A, me and my buddy Creed and Anthony Stravidio, we all lived together, but we would go and eat at this little diner. There's not much to do in Delmarva, but the guys that owned it had a suite, and they were always real cool to us. And then in high A, was in Aberdeen, right by Cal Ripken's little tournament. So there was always tons of kids on the weekends and pretty good crowds on the weekends. So that was a whole lot of fun, and they did a good job because obviously Cal Ripken owns that field, and so there was always people coming in and out of there and special promos, and it was a good environment. And then in Bowie, we had a really good team in Bowie, a bunch of talented guys, and it was a whole lot of fun being able to play there. It's definitely the best place to hit in the Orioles organization when it comes to minor leagues. So it was really fun. Good coaching staff, a lot of good guys on that team. So we had a whole lot of fun. And in Norfolk, we had the best team in the minor leagues. So being able to play with a lot of really talented guys that have been in the big leagues and done well, and then guys that are top prospects in our organization and in all of baseball, to be able to share the field with them
And as a man of faith, I'm sure you got to see some pretty cool churches along the way too.
Yeah, we got to go to Ben Stewart's church in DC. I got COVID one about 2 weeks. I got COVID, and whenever I wasn't contagious, we went to DC on an off day and got to go to church, and it was really cool to be able to do that. Usually we play on Sundays and not able to go to church, but to be able to go down there and explore DC and get to go to church was pretty cool.
So when you go to a different church on the road sometimes, do you need to like call ahead and let them know, or you kind of just sneak into the back? I imagine some kids are like, "That Jackson Holliday."
No, we didn't. Unfortunately, that was the only time that I actually got to go to church because of the
Sunday games.
yeah we were only off on Mondays, but because of COVID, I got to have an off day and go down there. But we always had chapel, baseball chapel.
Every Sunday. Yep.
Yeah, in the minor leagues, they do a good job of getting guys in each city and having that available. So very thankful for that, and just being able to be there and invite teammates and try to create a good group. So yeah, the one time I got to go was pretty awesome though.
So how is this is such a crazy transition going from an 18-year-old high school player who's at home. He has all the support of mom and dad, and a lot of your live there in Oklahoma, and then all of a sudden you're in pro ball, you're on the road, you're by yourself. So how has your faith helped you in that transition and just overall in the game?
Yeah, it's made it a whole lot easier than you would think. Honestly, being able to rely on my faith and lean on the Lord when it comes to being the number one pick and being the top prospect and all the pressure that you would think would come with that just kind of goes away. And just at the end of the day, I know where my identity is, and just being able to just go out and play and enjoy it and enjoy my teammates and enjoy the game that I'm lucky enough to be able to play. So honestly, I think the only reason I'm able to stay so calm and just enjoy it is my faith.
He's a man that's wise beyond his years, Will. My goodness. We're not talking to a 20-year-old here.
No, he didn't get there on accident. That's for sure. There's a level of maturity that's well above his years, and hearing you talk about some of your other interviews, just people ask you how do you stay focused, and you're like, I mean, dude, I play baseball, I hang out with my family, my girlfriend, I play golf. Like you seem very focused and just enjoy what you do. You love hanging out with your family, you love playing baseball, some top golf, but you don't feel the need to go out to get involved in all those extracurriculars, I guess we'll call them.
Yeah, that's right. I think the way that I was raised by my parents definitely makes that a little bit or a whole lot easier. I think in high school I knew that this is who I wanted to be, and I didn't want anything to ever happen on accident or anything crazy to happen that could affect that. And I still that's the way that I go about things. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of not doing anything stupid and just trying to be with my family and yeah, give people no reason to try to mess something up that I've worked really hard for. So yeah, being able to just hang out with my family and do fun things like Top Golf and down in Sarasota, go to the mall and hang out and just think about Pop Stroke, little putt place, and just hanging out with some of the guys that share similar values. I know me, Gunner, Cowser, and Adley went and played bowl. We went and bowled and played golf, and yeah, we would play 2-on-2, just hanging out and yeah, but that's something that's very important to me is my faith and carrying that in my everyday life.
And you just mentioned some guys that are going to be a big part of that Orioles organization for a really long time. And to have that bond with them now and see how they go about their business. And, one thing I can say, your dad went about his business as good as anybody professionally I've ever seen in the game. And he, never pimped, and I see you as that kind of a player that you just play hard and appreciate the game. And we need more of that because we got plenty of the flash and flare and the bad flipping and all that. I like to see the purity and the humbleness of the game. And, your high school coach said not only were you the, without question, one of the greatest players that he'd ever coached, but to be that good and be that humble, it's impossible. Like they, guys that are like you usually have a bit of an attitude that's kind of unbearable.
Yeah, I think like you said, my dad carried himself at a very high standard and played the game the right way. And I think seeing that and growing up, watching that's who I wanted to be. And I think the Orioles have done a good job of picking guys that are very similar to that attitude. I think Gunnar is a really good example. Had an unbelievable year, and just the way that he plays the game, he plays hard and in the right way. And I think that our organization is filled with guys that play like that. And I think it's a really good model. And I'm pretty excited to for many years to come with the Orioles. So it's pretty exciting.
So Tad brings a little bit more of a old school perspective on bat flipping and stuff like that. I'm a little bit more new school. I like to see the double cellies. I like to see the bat flips. So do you ever see yourself getting a little hype, letting one flip? Do you ever want to just go crazy after hitting a double? How do you feel about how bat flips and just celebration? How much fun the game is now?
I think it's fun in the right contents. I think if you hit a home run like Corey Seager did in the World Series, I think you could literally do whatever you want, and people are going to be
That was
completely.
just straight emotion.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the right way to play it. I think the up 10 homer with the bat flip probably shouldn't. That's a little much, but I think playing with straight emotion, I think it's pretty fun to watch. I'm not really the guy that does all the double celebration, but if I hit a home run in a big moment, I probably won't go crazy, but I'll probably carry the bat a little bit farther down the line. But I think there's more fun in hitting a home run versus a double. But I'm not gonna show up an opposing player or play the game the wrong way. But if I hit a home run in a big spot, I'll probably enjoy it a little bit because it's pretty cool, and home runs are hard to come by. So I think there's a little bit of bits and pieces, but some of the crazy stuff that I've seen, it's fun to watch, but that's not how I play the game.
I got to ask you a question. There's a rule change that has really bothered me, and I know it protects the player and everything, but the middle infielder used to have to be very acrobatic, and the base runners learned how to go after that guy. And we as pitchers in spring training practice taking out the guy at second baseman or the shortstop on a potential double play. Your job was to get down there and break it up,
Mm-hmm.
right? They took that away, and they're even teaching you to stay right at the bag and you don't have to jump and all that. But man, there's pictures of Jeter and some of these acrobatic shortstop over the years that were making these plays where they were on the run, throwing, jumping, runner in between their legs. That's gone, man. I'm sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of new rules, and I think that's definitely one of them. I think in travel ball and in high school, that's also the same rule. So I think as a younger generation player, I think that's just kind of how I grew up playing. I never got to play where you try to break up a double play. I think you got thrown out of the game if you try to hit somebody in high school. So it's definitely a little different, and there's lots of different rules. But yeah, that was a fun part watching Jeter and all these old videos of guys literally like just straight like running into each other. So it's definitely changed. I think they are trying to protect players, but yeah, it's fun when it's a little bit of contact. I mean, if you watch hockey, they literally fight in there that are out for 2 minutes. So it's definitely a little bit different, but it doesn't really affect me too much because I'm not getting smoked.
That's right, exactly. And being a shortstop, it didn't happen as often. It was usually the second baseman that was getting pummeled. But my goodness, just I know it's protecting the players, but man, there was an excitement level about that play that you just kind of look for it. And even as a pitcher, I'd be like, man, they hit a ground ball, I'm breaking this thing up. And it wasn't intent to hurt or anything. It was like you were supposed to slide hard directly at that dude, and he's gonna have to jump over you.
Yeah, that part would it's fun to watch for sure.
I'm sure with Jackson being a shortstop and second baseman, he's like, yeah, I'm going
He's
to pay.
happy about that rule.
It doesn't really bother me when there's some really big guys coming run at you, but the whole jumping over the guy, that's a fun part of the game, and definitely practice that as a little kid, taking a double play feed and jump throwing it. But yeah, it's not as in the game as much, but yeah, definitely a different part of the game.
And you know what? You got to teach kids the different way of turning a double play now.
Yeah,
Back
you
in the
got
day, like you said, you practiced jumping because back in the day when you were watching your dad play, that's what the second baseman and shortstop were doing.
yeah,
Now you don't even teach that anymore. It's like
yeah,
a gone away play. And man, I like teaching it because it was fun to do that catch, throw, jump. Go ahead, slide into me. You might get
yeah,
kicked in the head.
yeah,
So,
So,
but yeah, man, we're really excited that the Orioles are going to be the organization they're going to be. They got this you and other young guys that are just going to be a part of this franchise, hopefully for a really long time, and it'll change the city. That city needs a boost, and you guys are sitting in a position to be able to do that. They need to win a World Series.
yeah. Pretty, really, really excited to be a part of it. So hopefully I can make an impact on the team this year, and yeah, all I really know is playoff baseball. So hopefully that's what the Orioles have to look forward to.
so Jackson, you obviously you go from rookie ball to AAA in one season. I think anybody who's an Orioles fan or pays attention to baseball or is in that organization knows what's coming. That is you, Jackson Holliday, coming to the major league level here before too long. So obviously, it sounds like guys like Adley and Gunnar have already reached out and started to form a bond. They see you coming up. They know, hey, this dude's going to be a dude. He's going to be on the roster, be an impact player for us. What's it like when you're playing golf with those guys? And, are they already giving you advice and tips on, hey, expect this, watch out for this? What is that bond and those conversations like between you guys?
Yeah, it's real cool to be able to be around those guys and watch them do their thing. I was lucky enough to be able to go to big league spring training last year and be able to be around them and see how they are and their personalities and be able to hang out with them outside of baseball and go bowling and putt putt and all those things and just they're awesome guys and really really talented players to be able to hit in the same cage and compete with them and BP and do all these things. It's that iron sharpens iron thing that you hear. So it's pretty cool to be a part of such a talented organization. I remember walking in the locker room one day and Heston Kershaw was the second pick and Adley was the first pick and all these guys are top 5 picks and you're like, how in the world are all these guys like? And then you think back to all right, the Orioles were not great for
A
quite a
long
while.
time.
This is why we have such a talented organization. Is they had a lot of really high picks, and they've done a really good job of drafting guys and developing them, and this is the product of that is a lot of really talented young players that are in the minor leagues even and in the big leagues and looking for opportunity to help out a big league team. So it's really cool, and you can always learn something at the field around those guys. And Heston Kjerstad's another one that is ridiculously talented and has a chance to do some pretty special things this year. So it's pretty remarkable of how good some of these young guys are.
Well, Jackson, you're part of one of the great American baseball families in the history of the game. From Grandpa Tom to Great Uncle Dave to Uncle Josh to Dad Matt to even Heath, your cousin, and now yourself and Ethan. and we got a little one coming on along the way. What do we do to become even greater? Just continue to develop, because man, we've been telling this story, and you're such a huge part of it. We're so excited that we finally got you, because we worked hard to get you during the season, and I know it was a zoo this year for you. And I appreciate you doing this for us. It's going to be a really cool thing. Thanks again, man. Thank you so much for being a guest on Sandlot and the Crew.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Will,
Jack.
you want to close this thing out?
Yeah, I'll close it out. But before that, yeah, I just want to echo Tad some and say, yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. It was a great time interviewing you. We'll definitely be keeping a close eye on you and wishing you nothing but the best, praying for you. So God bless you. Thank you for coming on Sandlot and the Crew. And that is going to wrap this segment, folks. You're watching, listening to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger. We have none other than Mr. Tad Powers and Mr. Jackson Holliday. So you guys make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.